Greetings everybody, this is Sky Earth Goddess. I'm back with another video and I am out in my lawn. I showed you guys earlier with how I made my rose colored menstrual water, and so here it is right here. So I sprayed a sacred circle around myself with the menstrual water, and I'm going to spray it on my plants a little bit later. But actually, if you look, I'm actually sitting outside and I'm doing some menstrual bleeding onto the earth. I'm sitting bare bottom on the earth, connecting with the earth's frequency, giving an offering to the earth of my blood. This is sacred. Any woman can do it. Don't be afraid to do it. The earth loves it. The earth will actually send you telepathic messages thanking you for doing this. So don't be afraid to do that. But I was coming on here today to show you guys that, and to also talk to you about something that I was talking to my husband about earlier today, and something I've talked about before, but just never on this particular platform. But I wanted to talk about the whole thing with segregation and desegregation and resegregation. I know you guys like, what is she talking about? But I made my video a few months ago talking about leave white people alone. And that particular video talks about how if you take three people who are like me, who identify as, I don't identify as any race, but on paper, I look black, who identify as that particular racial group, and you take people from my particular background or a similar background, or my particular ethnic background, and you take those people and you put them in a room together and you allow them to talk to each other. Within maybe a 15-minute time span, the conversation is always going to go left. And it's going to go left as in somebody in the group is going to start mentioning white people, or something about slavery, or something about things are so hard for us, or we're struggling as a people, things like that. It's always going to go back to white people, or something, or segregation, or something of that lines. And I said in the video that it gets to be sickening because other groups of people have picked up on that. I picked up on that. And it can be annoying because you can't even get through 15 minutes of talking to us without the conversation veering to that particular topic in most cases. And so I'm in a lot of social groups and a lot of lives and things like that. And I noticed that there is this prevalent determination by people who look like me to have our own stuff. And it's always the conversation or the dialogue is, we need to have our own schools again. We need to have our own banks again. We need to have our own government again. We need to have our own money again. We need to have our own this and our own that. Because if we have our own, then no one can take it from us and we can run it like how we want. And they always go back. People who talk like this always cite things that happened pre-civil rights movement. Before civil rights movement, we had our own this and that and that. And when the civil rights movement happened, white people were able to take it all away, and we lost our own schools. We don't have our own money. We don't have ownership of anything anymore. Blah, 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 blah. And I had a revelation about this months ago. And I don't think that a lot of us have had a revelation about this. I don't think people are really thinking about the brighter side of things, because people go through cycles. And there was a time period when our particular people were going through a cycle where we were segregated, and it forced us to have our own schools and banks and money, and well, not necessarily money, but schools and banks and buses and companies, because we had to, because we were segregated. Nobody wanted to share with us, and we were segregated, and we had our own stuff, and there was a close, tight-knit community aspect to it. But that came and went, and then when civil rights happened, everything integrated. And the reason why that came and went is because that cycle ended. This came to light within me, and I received a divine download about this a long time ago. That cycle has ended. Are we going to get back to the point where we have our own businesses, and we have our own districts, and we have our own schools, and we have our own this and our own that? No, we're not. We're not going back to that because that cycle for us has ended. And a lot of people who look like me don't get that. They're too busy trying to create another Black Wall Street. They're too busy trying to create more Black charter schools. They're too busy trying to create some bank of more Black banks. They're too busy trying to do those things, trying to regain and reignite what we had back in the 50s and the 60s. They're too busy trying to do that, not realizing that by doing that, you are going backwards. You are literally going back in time instead of going forwards. We are the most ancient people on earth, and it's our duty to spread throughout creation and spread our knowledge. We can't do that if we are segregated and have our own stuff, because it makes us locked into our own little world, and then we're not helping anybody. We're not helping ourselves grow because we're not learning from different groups of people because we're segregated. That cycle has ended. We're not, people are saying, why can't we just get back to how it used to be when we had our own da 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 da? Because we're not meant to. If it was meant to, the universe would have made it happen. The universe is pushing us further and further away from doing those things because that time is over. That's not going to happen anymore. No matter how many charter schools you make, no matter how many, banks you throw together, no matter how many Black Wall Streets you try to put together, no matter how many plans you make, it's not going to work because it's not like you cursed anything. That cycle is over, and people who look like me need to realize that we completed that cycle. It's over. There's more to life than having your own schools and banks and having your and being basically resegregated again. There's more to life than that. That is separatism. And you guys preach equality and things like that, but in the same breath, you're trying to separate and get your own stuff. Well, we should separate and get our own thing, and then we'll start working with other people. Why not start working with other people now? You've been integrated since the late 60s. Why haven't you taken this time to work with other people now? Like, people always say we can work with other races of people, but we got to get our stuff together first. But why? We've been integrated for so long. Why not just make a fresh start, just working with other good-minded people, no matter what they look like or what race they are or what they call themselves or whatever? Like, why do you have to get your stuff together first? That era is over. It's not, every time we try to reignite that, it fails because it's not meant to work, because the universe is stopping it for a reason. We're supposed to be grabbing other groups of people by the hand, bringing them together as one collective on earth. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We are supposed to be coming together and being one. So this whole talk about basically resegregating ourselves, it gets to be kind of mundane and annoying because it's counterproductive for where this world is really going to. We're going into a new paradigm. We are going into a new frame of thinking. We're going into a new start, and we cannot be doing this stuff where we're separating ourselves and having our own stuff and doing our own thing. Nobody, not even us, people who are white, people who are Asian, we can't. We got to work together because that's the paradigm that we're on. If you are sitting around talking about we need to have a new Black Wall Street, you need to reevaluate what's actually going on right now. Look at where people know we're stepping into a new paradigm. You have to really realize that and look at it like that. Because if you realize we're walking into oneness with everybody, you realize how that's counterproductive. That doesn't match what's actually happening. And that's why it never works. That's why it never works when we try to do our own stuff and have our own stuff. It'll last a few years, and then it gets shut down. All these little Black businesses will crop up and they're all working together and all this kind of stuff. Then it'll just kind of fizzle out because the universe is not going to let it last. It doesn't have endorsement. It doesn't have the endorsement stamp of the actual universe. It's not going to work because it's counterproductive. And I notice a lot of people who look like me talk like this, and we have to get out of this. It's a victim mindset. I said it in the old video. We have a collective victim mindset. It's very hard for a lot of us to get past that, and it's this separatism mindset. You want to be seen as equal by everybody, but you're trying to separate yourself, and that's not going to work. So this was my video today, just pointing that out. We need to get past this as a people. We really, really do. It's as a people, because it's sad to see people say they want to have their own schools. Why can't you just make a school for everybody? Like, what's wrong? Like that. How is that a bad thing? Like, what? Like, you want to have your own businesses selling the same thing that everybody else is selling. We're all selling. If you want to have your own grocery store, but you're selling the same products as everybody else, it's not like it's not like it's a special store where everything is just so different. Why not merge together and find good-hearted people from all groups to run the store together? Like, I don't get it. It's counterproductive. It's not within what the vibration of Earth is going into. We are vibrating into the fifth dimension, and that's not fifth dimensional thinking. That's literally three-dimensional thinking, because in the fifth dimension, they're not worried about that. They are interconnecting with whomever is on the right vibration, what they like, or where they come from, or what star seed family they come from, or wherever. That is what they're doing. That's what time they're on. So we need to like really think on a higher perspective than sitting here trying to, run our own schools and banks and start Black Wall Street back up. It's more to life than that. It's more than that. It's more than race. It's more than that, and it's really simplistic. But I was just coming on here to talk to you guys about that and to explain some things. And I'll see you guys later. All right, bye bye.